I regret abandoning my autistic son. 40 years later, his silence broke my heart forever. In the dusty plains of Texas, back in the 1980s, I made a choice that haunts me every single night. My little boy, with eyes that never quite met mine, needed more than I could give, or so I told myself. Years passed, and the guilt grew like a shadow I couldn't escape. What if he still remembered? What if forgiveness was impossible? Before I can explain how all this happened, it's very important that you like and subscribe to the channel. That will help us a lot. Only then can we continue. Our future is in your hands. Now let's get back to this incredible story. My name is Maria Gonzalez, and for over 4 decades I've carried this heavy secret in my heart. A story of parental abandonment that turned into endless parental guilt. I was just 22 when I had my son, Tommy, in a small hospital in Lubbock, Texas, back in 1985. Life was simple then, or at least it seemed that way. My husband, Carlos, worked long hours at the oil fields, and I dreamed of a normal family. Picnics under the big Texas sky, barbecues with neighbors. But from the moment Tommy came into the world, nothing was normal. He didn't cry like other babies. His eyes wandered, and he never reached for me the way I expected. The doctors mumbled about delays, but no one said the word autism outright back then. It was the 80s, and special needs children were often hidden away, whispers of shame in our close-knit Hispanic community. Tommy's world was his own. Repetitive motions with his toy trains, meltdowns over the slightest change, like if the lights flickered or the door creaked. I loved him fiercely, but fear crept in. Carlos grew distant, saying we couldn't handle it, that our marriage was cracking under the weight. By the time Tommy was 3, the struggles were overwhelming. He wouldn't speak more than a few words, banged his head when frustrated, and needed constant watching. Neighbors pitied us. Friends stopped calling. I felt like a failure as a mother, drowning in the daily battles of special needs parenting. One night, after a particularly bad episode where he screamed for hours, Carlos packed a bag and left for good. He said it was too much, that Tommy needed professionals, not us. I was alone, working 2 jobs as a waitress and cleaner, barely scraping by. That's when the thought first came. Maybe he would be better off without me. I reached out to a group home in Dallas for children with disabilities. They took him at 5 years old, promising care. I signed the papers with shaking hands, telling myself it was for his good, an abandoned child in a place that could help. But as the car drove away with my baby, tears streaming down my face, I knew I'd broken something irreparable. I moved to Austin, changed my name slightly to start over, married again to Steve, a kind man who never knew the full story. We had 2 healthy daughters, but Tommy's face haunted my dreams. Father regret? No, this was mother's guilt, deep and unrelenting. Decades passed, 30, then 40 years. I've aged, wrinkles mapping my regrets, living in a quiet suburb, retired from waitressing, but the emotional family story never left me. Lately, with social media and searches, I found him, Tommy, now a man living in a group home still in Texas with a life I missed entirely. The thought of a heartbreaking reunion terrifies and calls me. Did he suffer from childhood trauma because of me? Will there be a forgiveness story or just more pain? This is my emotional confession, my redemption story waiting to unfold. If you're feeling this story touch your heart already, please hit that like button. It means the world to stories like mine getting heard. I remember the day Tommy was born like it was yesterday, that hot August afternoon in Lubbock Memorial Hospital. The air smelled of antiseptic and summer rain. Carlos held my hand, excited for our first child. But when the nurse handed him to me, his tiny body limp, not grasping, something felt off. He was beautiful, dark hair like mine, but his cries were weak, almost absent. In those early months, I poured everything into him. I'd rock him for hours on our creaky porch swing, singing old Mexican lullabies my mama taught me. But he didn't smile back, didn't coo. At 6 months, he still wasn't sitting up. The pediatrician shrugged it off. Boys develop slower, he said. By his first birthday, though, the signs screamed louder. Tommy fixated on spinning objects, ignored my face, and screamed if I changed his routine, like moving his bottle. We scraped money for specialists in Dallas, a 4-hour drive each way. That's when they said it, autism. Not in fancy terms, but severe developmental delay, likely autistic spectrum. No therapies nearby, no support groups. Carlos came home quieter each night, drinking more. "Maria, we can't do this forever," he'd say. Our small house felt like a prison, filled with his echoes, trains crashing, sudden wails. I tried everything, homemade sensory toys from rice in jars, walks in the fields to calm him. But the meltdowns worsened. One evening, at 2 years old, he threw himself against the wall so hard I feared for his life. Blood on the floor, my screams mixing with his. Neighbors banged on the door, asking if everything was okay. Shame burned my cheeks. In our church, Father Ruiz pulled me aside. "God tests us, but maybe this is too much." His words planted doubt. By 3, Tommy had a few words, mama, train, but spoken in echoes, never in conversation. Potty training? Impossible. Nights without sleep wore me thin. Carlos and I fought constantly. "He's stealing our life," he yelled once. I defended my boy, but deep down fear gnawed. Was I strong enough for a special needs child? Texas back then had little help, no IEPs, no early intervention like today. We were on our own. Work became my escape. Double shifts at the diner, feet aching, tips barely covering formula and diapers. I'd come home exhausted, find Tommy stimming endlessly, lost in his world. Love him, more than life, but the weight crushed me. Carlos left when Tommy was 4, moving to Houston with some woman from work. "I can't watch him destroy you," his note said. Alone, I hit bottom. The group home call came from a church friend. "They take kids like him, Maria. Good care, trained staff." I visited. The place smelled clean, kids with various needs playing quietly. My heart screamed no, but logic whispered yes. At 5, I drove him there, his favorite train in hand. He didn't cry as I left. He never did. But I did, for miles. In Austin, I rebuilt. Met Steve at the diner. He was a trucker, steady, childless. We married quick, had Rosa and little Valentina. Normalcy, birthdays, school plays, holidays without chaos. Steve sensed my shadows but never pried. I buried Tommy deep, told myself he was thriving, an abandoned son in better hands. But guilt festered. Holidays, I'd stare at family photos, his absence a hole. Dreams of his face, grown, accusing, years blurred, 80s to 90s, daughters growing, Steve retiring. By 2010s, internet searches began. Adult autistic men Texas. Nothing. Until last year, 2024, a Facebook group for special needs awareness. There he was, Thomas Gonzalez, 39, in a Dallas assisted living, same eyes now lined with age. My hands trembled, clicking his profile. Posts from caregivers, loves puzzles, quiet, works simple jobs, no family listed. Mother's guilt surged. Had I caused his silence? Childhood trauma from parental abandonment. I messaged anonymously at first, heart pounding, no reply. Now, at 60, I'm ready for the emotional comeback, the lost family reunion. But will he want it? This parental guilt never fades. If you've ever felt regret like this, drop a comment below. Where are you watching from? Your stories help me heal. Life after leaving Tommy was like walking through fog, everything muted, my heart half gone. In Austin, the city lights felt foreign at first, bigger than Lubbock's quiet streets. Steve was my anchor, tall, gentle, with a laugh that filled rooms. We rented a cozy house near Zilker Park, white picket fence, the American dream I chased to forget. Rosa came first in the spring of 1991, a little bundle of joy that felt like a second chance at motherhood I didn't deserve. She arrived at Brackenridge Hospital in Austin with perfect cries that filled the room, strong and clear, her tiny eyes locking right onto mine the moment the nurse placed her in my arms. No wandering gaze, no silent stares, just pure connection that made my heart swell and break all at once. Breastfeeding was easy, her latch instinctive, milestones hitting right on time. First smile at 6 weeks, rolling over at 4 months, cooing back at my songs. It was motherhood anew, without the battles that had worn me down with Tommy. I'd push her on swings at the neighborhood park, her giggles like music under the big Texas oaks, bake chocolate chip cookies that filled our rental house with warm smells, attend PTA meetings where other moms chatted about soccer and sleepovers. Life seemed normal, the kind I'd dreamed of back in Lubbock, picnics by Ladybird Lake, simple joys. But at night, when the house went quiet and Steve snored softly beside me, memories flooded back unbidden. Tommy's soft hands flapping with excitement over a spinning wheel on his toy truck, his rare joy lighting his face in those private moments. Was he okay in that group home? Did the staff hug him tight after a bad day, rock him through meltdowns like I used to? Or was my abandoned child lost in a world without a mama's touch? I'd stare at the ceiling, tears silent, wondering if parental abandonment had scarred him deeper than I knew, his special needs child heart waiting for me somewhere in Texas. Valentina followed in 1994, even brighter, giggling at rattles from day one, her chubby fist grabbing my finger with purpose. 2 daughters now, a full life rebuilding from ashes. Playdates in our yard, birthday parties with piñatas swinging, school plays where I'd clap loudest. Yet guilt whispered constant, a shadow in every laugh. I never visited Tommy after that awful drop-off day. Fear paralyzed me completely. What if the caregivers said he still asked for mama in his echoes night after night? Or worse, that he'd forgotten me entirely, no memory of my voice or lullabies. Letters I wrote in secret stayed locked in a drawer, pages stained with tears and smudged ink. I'm sorry, mijijo. Mommy was weak, scared of the autism story we shared. I thought you'd be better without my failures. Read them monthly, then hid again, too ashamed to mail. Steve noticed my silences over coffee mornings, the faraway looks during dinners. One evening in 1995, as rain pattered our tin roof, he asked gentle, "Maria, that boy from before, the one in adoption papers, tell me if you want." I lied smooth, heart twisting. "Closed case, Steve. Adoption long ago before us. He's happy somewhere." Long lost mother, that was me now, pretending normalcy while emotional regret brewed inside like a storm. The 90s rolled on smooth on the surface, dot-com boom making Austin buzz with new money and lights. Steve drove trucks less as business grew. We bought a real house in 1997, Two-story brick with a big backyard for the girls, white fence straight out of magazines. Daughters thrived beautiful. Rosa cheerleader in high school, flips and cheers at Friday lights. Valentina the artist, murals on her bedroom walls, sketches of our family under starry skies. Pride swelled in my chest at graduations, but it rang hollow always, a reminder of the special needs child I'd left behind. Church Sundays at St. Mary's, I'd kneel in the pews, pray silent for Tommy's happiness, light votive candles flickering for the special needs, parenting struggles I'd fled so young. Father Ruiz would nod knowing, say, God forgives all, but mother's guilt clung stubborn. Guilt twisted sharper in the 2000s like thorns growing wild. Internet rose slow in our home, dial-up screeching nights, and I'd search secret. Autism Adult Outcomes Texas, group homes for abandoned children. Stories chilled blood. Men like Tommy isolated, rocking alone in corners. One news piece from Dallas Morning News hit hard. Group homes overcrowded, understaffed, reports of neglect in the shadows. My abandoned child. Did he suffer long nights without a hug, meltdowns unmet? Father's guilt weighed on Carlos somewhere, but mine deeper, heavier, as the one who signed the papers with shaking hands walked away from our emotional family story. Daughters grew into women strong. Rosa married her high school sweetheart, a teacher named Mike, in 2008. A beautiful wedding at the church with mariachi and dances till dawn. Valentina wed an engineer from California in 2011. Small ceremony by the lake. Grandkids came joyful. First boy in 2009, then girl 2011, another boy 2013, all neurotypical miracles. Crawling fast, talking early, hugs tight. Family gatherings swelled our house. Barbecues with brisket, slow-smoked, Easter egg hunts in the yard. Thanksgiving tables groaning under tamales and pies. Joyful chaos. Yet I'd zone out mid-laugh, seeing Tommy's face overlay theirs. Same dark curls, wondering if he'd grown tall, if autism struggles stole his smiles. 2010 brought Steve's heart scare sharp. A chest pain at work, ambulance lights flashing our driveway. Hospital bed pale, monitors beeping. I confessed half-truths holding his hand. I had a son once, Steve, before you. Left him. Special needs. He squeezed weak. Find him, Maria. Life short. Heal that heart too. Tears mixed ours, but fear won again. Too late, too broken. Doctors fixed him with stents. Life resumed, but seed planted uneasy. Daily life masked the pain deep, routines a bandage thin, gardening mornings, roses and herbs blooming under my hands, scents grounding. Volunteering at the food bank downtown, packing boxes for families like mine once was, faces haunting with need. Hispanic community dances Saturdays, polkas and cumbias at the hall, skirts swirling, laughter loud. Steve twirled me proud, daughters visiting with grandkids. Inside, though, emotional regret brewed constant, a pot simmering low. Dreams turned vivid nightmares. Tommy grown tall, turning away cold at the park. Mama gone. Awakening soaked in sweat, sheets twisted, Steve stirring worried. Therapy crossed mind. Counselors at church offered, but too ashamed, face burning at thought of voicing parental abandonment aloud. Instead, journals filled thick notebooks, emotional apologies page after page. Forgive your weak mama, mi vida, regret every day. Never sent, just catharsis private. Turning point crashed 2020 pandemic, world lockdown tight. Endless news cycles droned. Disabled children isolated worse. Autism stories amid COVID vulnerability, heartbreaking. Heart ached fierce for Tommy, my special needs child alone in some facility, masks hiding faces or routines shattered. Texas evenings humid, I'd scour sites frantic. Texas Department of Aging lists, group home directories, yellowed screens. Facebook groups again, deeper dives. Then found it. Hope Haven, Dallas suburb, website simple with resident spotlights, gardening clubs, smiling faces in workshops, scrolled photos blurry, men lining up puzzles, one tall figure backturned, trains in hand. Was he there, thriving or surviving my long-lost abandonment? Heart pounded, fresh resolve flickering. Redemption story calling after decades of silence. Those lockdown days stretched eternal. Walks alone in empty parks, mask-muffling prayers. News pieces piled, special needs, awareness pleas, parents sharing adult sons like Tommy, institutional loneliness amid virus, volunteered masked at food bank drive-through, boxes heavy with canned goods, thinking, did they feed him enough? Steve joined searches gentle. Print what you find, Maria. Daughters texted daily. Mom okay? Hollow replies. Mind fixed north. One night, May 2020, clicked Hope Haven deeper. Video tour sunroom puzzles, gardens neat. Caption. Thomas G. Puzzle Pro. Froze screen. Profile match haunting. No face clear. Privacy rules, but build interests, screamed my boy. Emotional confession bubbled urgent. Time to act. Fear clashed hope. Parental guilt peaking raw. Journal entry that night. 40 years enough hiding. Find him, heal or face truth. Morning light, resolve shaky but real. Journey to heartbreaking reunion or final peace beginning. If this mother's guilt tugs at you, hit that like button and comment your thoughts. Have you carried regrets like this? Subscribe for more stories of family healing. The ache to know about Tommy never dulled over the years, but it sharpened like a knife in the quiet of 2022, when the world slowed again with all that pandemic talk still lingering. I'd sit at my old computer in the spare room, the screen glow the only light after Steve went to bed, scrolling through endless pages for any trace of my abandoned son. Special needs awareness groups on Facebook became my secret world. Stories of parental guilt and redemption, stories pulling tears every night. One evening, a post about adult autism outcomes in Texas caught me. Group homes sharing resident spotlights. Heart racing, I typed Thomas Gonzalez into the search bar, variations with middle initials I half remembered from his birth certificate tucked away. Hits trickled, a workshop photo from Hope Haven in Dallas, caption reading Thomas G. Masters 500-piece puzzles. The face blurred but familiar tilt, dark hair cropped short. Could it be? Anonymous email first. Fingers hovered, then typed careful to their general contact. Do you know Thomas Gonzalez? Old friend from Lubbock days, lost touch decades ago, wondering if he's well. Hit send at 2 a.m., stomach twisting. Days blurred into worry. What if they ignored? Reply pinged midweek. He's private resident, but thriving here. Loves puzzles, trains, family inquiring. Lie back flowed too easy, shame burning. Distant relative, just checking roots for family tree. Heart raced like a freight train. They bought it, shared no photo, but confirmed basics, born 1985, stable life. More searches exploded, public records on dusty Texas county sites, voter rolls sparse, no property. His name faint trail, group home transfers 90s, Medicaid notes hinting autism story deep-rooted. No wife listed, no kids, my doing. Parental abandonment robbed him of chances at love, family of his own. Mother's guilt crashed waves. I'd walked from special needs parenting, left him adrift in disability challenges, printed that email chain, folded into my journal with baby photos yellowed. Nights worsened, insomnia thick, dreams of him calling Mama, unanswered. Steve caught me once at dawn. Maria, ghosts again? Hugged vague. Old regrets. Pushed daytime distractions, gardening herbs sharp-scented, church baking for potlucks. But searches hooked deeper, ancestry sites, paid a bit for hints. Old Lubbock Clinic records sealed, but forum whispers. Many like him from 80s institutionalized young. Chilled bone deep, my emotional family story, a heartbreaking truth I'd buried. 2023. Spring. Boldness struck unbidden, or maybe desperation peaked. Blue bonnets nodding highways. I packed thermos coffee black. Hit I-35 North Solo. No word to family. 4 hours stretched torture. Billboards blurring. Radio hymns soft. Mind replayed abandonment day. His small suitcase, blank stare as car pulled away. What if he's happy without me? What if he hates? Dallas sprawl loomed, exited to suburbs quiet. Parked blocks from Hope Haven, engine tick cooling, sweat cold despite vent. Walked tense, pretending mail errand, heart thump audible. Chain link fence high, peaked gaps careful, workshop open air. Men in aprons sorting bolts, assembling. One tall figure corner, dark-haired, thick now graying edges, focused puzzle board, pieces flipping precise rhythm. Tommy, age matched exact. 38, build solid from routine labor. No flapping visible, but that head tilt, eyes locked task. Autism echoes clear. Staff chatted nearby. He glanced up, fleeting, profile sharp like Carlos. Tears flowed, silent, hot, cheeks wet, vision swim, backed away legs rubber, cowered again, fleeing to car. Sobs racked, drive home, sunset, blood red, accusing. Told Steve partial, drove by old place, memories. Lie chain lengthened, but fire lit, couldn't stop now. Months churned guilt heavier. Volunteered food bank, frantic, faces young autistic boys twisting knife, mirrors of Tommy toddler. Carlos's sister phone random. Houston area code, voice raspy. Maria, heard whispers you're hunting Thomas. Carlos regretted till death 2010, letters bounced back. Drank for that boy. Hung numb, father's guilt twin to mine. Scoured forums incognito, adult autism, Texas tales, institutional loneliness, jobs sheltered, bonds rare. My long-lost mother role, dramatic family story, begging rewrite. 2024, holidays hollowed me, family photos missing him pained. Daughters noted shadows. Rosa. Mom distant. Valentina. Talk? Brushed off till attic purge January 2025. Rosa rummaged boxes, pulled faded Polaroid. Tommy 3, train clutched, me forced smile behind Lubbock porch. Who's this little guy, Mom? Looks family. Crumbled stool kitchen, knees weak. Spilled flood, autism diagnosis. Dallas Drive 1988, words, spectrum severe, crushing. Struggles daily, head-banging fits, nights endless. Carlos fleeing note cold. Group home surrender age 5, papers signed trembling. Better care. Parental abandonment worst sin, Hisha. Left special needs child alone. She hugged bone crush, no recoil. Find him now, heal this, love you fierce. Valentina. FaceTimed instant tears. Mom's redemption story. We help search pro. Steve from Den nodded slow eyes wet. Time for a family healing, Maria. Daughter's right, no more shadows. Support bloomed instant. Rosa pulled records expert. Texas vital stats, confirm Hope Haven link. Valentina sketched welcome brother tentative, grandkids innocent, new uncle puzzles. Steve sanded swing replica therapeutic nights. My heart, long lost mother swelled, family braced for forgiveness story or pain. Resolve peaked late January 2025. Dialed Hope Haven, intake trembling. Maria Gonzalez, biological mother Thomas Gonzalez, Lubbock birth 1985. August, seek reunion gentle. Voice held miracle. Lisa coordinator kind Texas drawl. Records verify wow long time. He's stable high functioning, will prep slow. Files mention mama vague. Meeting week out? Scheduled February 15th. Hung dazed. Days blurred haze. Insomnia iron grip. Tossed what ifs endless. Will he forgive mother regret decades? Remember voice, touch, lullabies hummed porch, or blank wall, childhood trauma locked, emotional transformation beckoned golden, or heartbreak shattering rebuilt peace, prepared frantic, salvaged attic train, rusted but treasured, tamales batch practiced, journal apologies crisp, church nightly candles, Father Ruiz prayed handhold, love bridges time hija, daughters coached words, simple patient. Steve packed car snacks. Proud you going. Drove Dallas crisp February morning, felt judgment, day eternal stretched. Texas highways, I-35 north, endless ribbon dawn gray, scrub brush, golden blur pass like fleeting years wasted. Hands gripped wheel vise tight, knuckles bone white aching hold. 40 years void since last held him close trusting. 5-year-old weight car seat fading. What words heal, I abandoned you, scar. Rehearsed loop. Mi hijo, mama scared young fool, wrong deep, back forever? Radio mute, mind hurricane memories, birth cries weak, first steps wobbly ignored, farewell blank stare haunting. Hope Haven materialized feeder road quiet, low brick buildings sturdy amid green lawns clipped, flower beds defiant winter, parked slot shaky, legs led waits doorward. Staffer Lisa, mid-40s, greeted porch warm smile genuine. Mrs. Gonzalez, right on time. Thomas excited bit, recalls mama story old therapy notes, songs mentioned, knees buckled near floor, vision spots. She steadied arm, gentle. Breathe, he's ready-ish. Hallway past colorful walls, puzzle art resident taped proud victories. Sunroom flooded, soft morning light filtered blinds, puzzle scattered tables, rainbow chaos inviting. There sat him, Tommy reborn Thomas, 40, full-grown, sturdy build, work-forged shoulders, broad, same wandering eyes, deep brown, framed, short beard, neat salt pepper wise. Rocking armchair, subtle rhythm comfort, hands twisting, faded string, endless loop, stim ritual, unchanged time. Breath mind sees chest vise, aged grace but essence pure. My boy grown stranger. Thomas, voice cracked raw, whispered desert dry. It's Maria, your mama from long ago. He lifted, head deliberate, slow motion, gaze flicker not locked direct, autism veil, familiar tender. Processed silence thick, string twist pause. Mama, echoed soft scripted melody, phrase practiced depths. Lisa murmured side. High-functioning progress therapies 90s on. Speech phrases solid now. Independence daily. Social challenges linger deep. Routines anchor world. Give space. Perched beside cautious wingback, heart thunder loud chest betraying. Air hummed, memories layered. Baby, powder, ghost mixed. Now soap clean, faint. I left you 5 years old. Scared mama. Too young, overwhelmed. Thought group home better help. Wrong, biggest wrong ever. Words raw tumbled unfiltered. Fiddled string tempo, quicken anxiety flicker, then hummed low haunting, my lullaby, ranchera, sway, porch, Lubbock stars. Lisa nodded, confirm. Remembers song's muscle memory, music, safe harbor always. Tears mine cascaded Free River's cheeks, splashing puzzle edge. Forgive me please, mi vida. Mama here stay now. No words back verbal bridge. Silence companion, heavy pregnant. But leaned closer, inch deliberate, shoulder brush, feather light, accidental electric. Warmth, skin to skin after 40-year desert, spark miracle reunion kindled faint. Sat longer, wordless, vigil, shared fragments life. Austin home cozy sisters eager, trains collection waiting, garden herbs scent. Nodded micro responses, string slow, eyes corner glance. Left promise airy. Visit soon again. Echoed back, soon, firm anchor. Drove south, dazed glow. Emotional confession door, cracked redemption path winding. Heartbreak spectre. Faded, touch hope, flickered autism story ours alive. If this hits home, subscribe for more emotional family stories. Your support shares these truths. From Texas or beyond, where you watching, share thoughts below, visited weekly after, brought trains, old favorites. He'd line them, smile faint, stories poured my life, sisters, grandkids. You have family, he nodded sometimes. Progress slow, autism story unfolding gentle, months in breakthrough. During picnic, handed photo of us all. Family, first full word, hugged awkward, but real. Emotional healing began, touching family moment. But guilt lingers, years lost, disability challenges I dodged. Carlos, tracked him, died 2010, regretful letters unsent. My redemption story, father returns vibe but mothers. Challenges persist. Thomas wary of change, visits structured. Daughters met him. Rosa teared, Valentina bonded over art. Grandkids curious, gentle. Steve welcomes. Our son now. This life-changing moment reshapes me. From parental abandonment to powerful family narrative. Share this if it moved you. What would you say in reunion? Comment below. Those early visits to Hope Haven were a mix of hope and torment, each mile from Austin a reminder of my past sins. Thomas's world was ordered, same chair, same puzzles, lunch at noon sharp. Disruptions sparked anxiety, hand-flapping, withdrawal. I'd arrive with his train set, watch him align cars perfectly, a ritual from childhood I recalled vividly. One afternoon, spring blooming, I brought tamales, homemade like abuelas. He sniffed, took small bites, eyes lighting. Good, mumbled, first unsolicited word. My heart soared. Miracle reunion spark, told stories of Lubbock, our porch swings, dusty roads, stars vast. You loved fireflies. He nodded, rare eye contact flicker. Staff shared history. After I left, he thrived somewhat. Therapies in 90s helped speech, independence, jobs, stocking shelves, now puzzle assembly. No violence, just quiet persistence. Many like him abandoned, they said, you returning rare. A mother's guilt stab, special needs struggles I inflicted. Home, journals evolved, not apologies but plans, wanted him closer. Daughters visited, Rosa brought photos, Valentina sketchpad, Thomas drew lines repetitive but beautiful. Brother, Rosa called him. He echoed, sister. Family healing tentative, challenges mounted, first family dinner, our house. He paced, overwhelmed by noise, meltdown mild, rocking in corner. I soothed with old song, calmed, learned autism anew. Patience, no pressure. Steve barbecued brisket, Texas style. Thomas ate slow, content. Summer 2025, big step, weekend stay, packed his comforts, weighted blanket, trains. First night he wandered rooms, touching walls, slept porch swing replica I built. Mornings we'd walk park, him trailing string. Grandkids approached gentle. Uncle Thomas, puzzle, laughter shy. But shadows loomed. Nightmares mine. What if he resents? Once, asked staff privately, does he know I left? Bits from old records. Doesn't dwell. Relief mixed dread. Carlos's shadow phoned his sister once. He regretted, drank himself sick, wanted son back late. Long lost father parallel, but mine active now. Community embraced. Church group, special needs awareness, welcomed Thomas. Picnics, he sat edges but stayed. Emotional confessions spread, shared vaguely online, comments flooded. Similar tales, forgiveness stories. Fall brought test. Doctor's visit, epilepsy scare false but triggered fears. Held his hand through tests, whispering, Mama here. Bond deepened. He said, love, first time. Scripted maybe, but mine. Thanksgiving, full table. Daughters, grandkids, Steve, Thomas Center. Toasted, healing broken families. He clinked glass, smiled broad, tears hidden. Yet, doubts whisper, too late, childhood trauma embedded, therapies say resilience in autism. My emotional transformation, volunteer now, advocate, from abandoning to embracing. If you're from Texas or elsewhere, comment your location. Connects us all, like for more redemption stories. Deeper into visits, patterns emerged. Thomas favored routines, Monday puzzles, Wednesday walks. Deviate, tension rose, fidgeting, phrases repeated. All okay? All okay? I'd affirm, mirror calm, learned his language. Interests over chit-chat, brought Lubbock soil in jar once. Home dirt, sniffed long, held close. Memories stirred, told of oil fields, Carlos's stories. Papa gone, he said sudden. Shocked, recalled abandonment duel. Daughters bonded unique. Rosa taught simple signs. Texas schools had some. Brother Hoog. Valentina's art drew his train's exploding color. He added patterns, collaborated. Steve's roll key, no fuss, just presence. Fish together backyard pond. Thomas cast line methodical, hooked first base. Big fish. Cheered. Man tears. Grandkids, almost 6, 4 taught gently. Uncle special, like superhero puzzles. Played parallel, no force. One drew family portrait, all stick figures, Thomas biggest. 2025 holidays peaked. Christmas, tree lights mesmerized him, spun orbs endless. Gifts, custom train track village. Assembled dawn to dusk. New Year's, fireworks scared. We inside, blankets forward. Professionally, he worked sheltered workshop proud. Invited me, assembled boxes precise. Co-workers. Tommy's mom? Cool. Acceptance warmed. Personal growth mine, therapy. Finally unpacked 80s shame. Group for parent regret. Heard father regret, mother returns tales. Inspired. Challenges honest. Regression days, post-visit withdrawal. Staff coached. Consistency key. Drove more, stayed overnights. Spring 2025, proposal, move Austin. Facility nearby. Thomas. Maybe home. Heart burst. What do you think? Should I have returned sooner? Opinion in comments, subscribe to discuss. The idea of Thomas moving closer ignited everything. A dramatic twist in our emotional journey. Meetings with social workers, Texas agencies, assessments, trials. He qualified independent living with support. Autism accommodations evolved since 80s. Trial week Austin. Our guest room prepped, schedules printed. Arrived nervous, string in hand. First day smooth, park routine. Night, thunderstorm. Paced, I rocked him like baby. Save me, hijo. Slept, eventual. Week progressed. Grocery with list. He pushed cart methodical. Checkout meltdown minor. Too many lights, breathed through. Daughters rotated. Rosa cooking lessons, simple tacos. Spice good. Valentina movies. Animated trains. Steve barbecues daily. Thomas grilled meats careful. Grandkids games. Giant Jenga. His steady hands won. Laughter house-filled. Lost years echoing joy. Back Dallas temporary, he declined. Like Austin. Green light. Move July 2025. U-Haul, his few boxes. New apartment block away. Supervised, visits free. First night hours, dinner, tears. Home now, adjustment waves. Job transfer workshop, Austin. Commute bus learned. Routines blended. Mornings, coffee porch. Us talking sparse but deep. Memories started surfacing for Thomas in those quiet moments we shared on the porch swing. The one I'd built just like the old one back in Lubbock. One evening in late summer, as cicadas hummed under the Texas stars, he looked at me with those familiar wandering eyes and said, "Group home okay, but mama gone sad?" It was his first full sentence directed at me, clear and unprompted, hitting like a thunderclap. I froze, tears springing hot because in those words I heard the echo of his childhood trauma, the pain of parental abandonment that I'd caused. He reached out, awkward pat on my hand, and whispered, "I sorry too." We both cried then, me sobbing for the lost years, him with quiet sniffles, rocking gently. Mutual healing washed over us like rain on dry earth. This was the emotional confession I'd waited decades for, a touching family moment turning mother's guilt into shared forgiveness. From that night, conversations deepened, sparse but real, his autism story revealing layers I'd missed. Word spread in the family, and it expanded beyond us core ones. Cousins from Houston and San Antonio drove down. The Hispanic reunions we used to have in the old days revived with more love. Abuela's recipes filled my kitchen, pozole simmering, laughter loud. Thomas at first stayed on the edges, lining up chairs precise, but soon joined the circle. One night, mariachi music played soft from a speaker, and Valentina pulled him up. He swayed to the rhythm, slow and methodical, hands flapping light in joy. Cousins cheered, "Baila, Tommy." He smiled shy, repeating, "Music good." Those gatherings healed broken families one dance at a time, special needs child welcomed fully, no pity, just familia. Challenges didn't disappear, but we faced them as a team, growing stronger together. Shopping stores overwhelmed him. Fluorescent lights buzzing, crowds pressing, scents mixing chaotic. Sensory overload hit hard once at HEB, carts clanging, announcements blaring. He froze in the aisle, hands over ears, rocking urgent. I had strategies ready, noise-cancel headphones from his pocket, deep breaths counted together, escape plan to the quiet garden section. "One step, okay?" We'd exit, calm, ice cream reward. Holidays crowded too, big family meals, kids running. We'd set his spot by the door, weighted vest handy, breaks scheduled. Over time, he lasted longer, even helped set tables. These disability challenges became lessons in patience, my redemption story teaching resilience. Volunteering became our shared passion. I spoke at local autism groups, emotional confession anonymized at first. I abandoned my son once, scared young mom, reclaimed him now. Applause thundered, hugs tight from parents nodding. Father regrets stories, mother returns tales mirroring ours. Thomas joined later, standing beside family back. Special needs awareness spread like wildfire, groups inviting us monthly. One dad teared up, "Gives hope for my boy." We handed puzzles he'd made, symbols of his quiet strength. This was powerful family narrative in action, from abandoned child to advocate. Health checks confirmed he was strong, no epilepsy shadows like I'd feared from old stories. Annual physical at the clinic, vitals perfect, doctor praising, active lifestyle suits him. Therapy went joint now, sessions unpacking trauma gentle. Counselor guided drawings, Thomas sketched dark scribbles for group home lonely days, then bright trains circling family figures for now. Past dark, now light, he labeled. I added words, tears blurring. Unpacked my own parental guilt, his childhood trauma voiced soft, Miss Mama songs. Healing layered deep, emotional healing profound. Milestones shone bright. His 40th birthday in August, park party under oaks near Zilka, cake shaped like trains, blue icing tracks. We sang the old lullaby, voices blending, mine cracked emotional. He blew candles deliberate, one puff each, wish secret. Gifts piled, custom puzzle map of Texas, new camera, blue party horns careful, grandkids chasing bubbles he released. Sophia giggled from Rosa's arms. This was life-changing moment. Special needs parenting celebrated late but fully. Steve made it official one barbecue evening, brisket smoking low. Pulled Thomas aside, man to man. Son forever? Thomas paused, eyes flickering meat, then firm. Yes, Dad. Hugs all around, family complete at last. Steve teared rare, proud of you both. Long-lost mother, now whole circle. Guilt fades, but lingers whisper soft. A reminder. We visited Carlos's grave in Lubbock that fall, dusty cemetery under a wide sky. Stood silent first, me forgiving aloud. You left too, but I understand now, fear big. Thomas placed wildflower gentle. Papa rest. I drove back freer, father's guilt paralleled, closed chapter. Emotional regret transformed into powerful confession, shared in whispers and groups. From heartbreaking truth of abandonment to inspirational family journey, ours a dramatic storytelling beacon. This dramatic storytelling moves me. Hit like, share your family thoughts below. Integration deepened that autumn, leaves turning gold, rare in Texas. Thomas's apartment grew cozy. Trains displayed on shelves like trophies, photos clustered. Snow day, bluebonnets, Sophia. Daily check-ins are ritual. Coffee on his small table, black for him, cream for me. Puzzles shared, 1,000-piece Texas maps, pieces sorted colors first. Almost done, he'd say, triumphant. Those mornings wove routine love, emotional comeback steady. Thanksgiving turned epic. 20 relatives crammed joyful, structured stations to keep calm, appetizers, one table, mains buffet line slow. Thomas carved turkey proud, knife steady, slices even. Good job, cheers rose, toast circled. To miracle reunion, glasses clinked high. He repeated, miracle, beaming. Pies after, stories of old Lubbock holidays, his laughs joining. Christmas magic his touch, lights synced to music. Idea from a video we'd watched. Strings blinked rhythm, trains chug, family dance. Gifts meaningful, photo album mosaic of our life, pages flipping life from 1985 baby to now. He traced faces slow. All here. Santa for grandkids, trains for him, electric set looping endless. New Year's Eve 2026, quiet perfect, countdown on TV soft, balloons dropped gentle, him raising mug, happy family. Words pure gold, hugged tight as clock struck. Fireworks distant, safe inside fort of blankets. Work advanced beautiful, from assembler to volunteer workshop leader at the center. Taught new folks box folding, patterns precise. Like this, demonstrated calm. Confidence bloomed, stood taller, greeted bold. Boss noted, natural teacher. Pride swelled, abandoned son now mentor. Special needs struggles flipped triumph. These days layered rich, from dramatic twist of reunion to daily joys. Volunteering talks grew. One woman shared her own abandoned baby story, hugging Thomas. You give strength. Church ministry expanded, his greeter role drawing crowds. Family dinners weekly, Sophia crawling to him now, pulling trains. Challenges taught more. Mall trip, Black Friday test. Headphones on, lists short, breaks iced tea. Succeeded, high fives all. Therapy drawings evolved. Full scenes, grave visit, birthday cake, family tree. Reflections. Porch nights. Autism story hours wove pain to power. Parental abandonment not end but pivot. Thomas content, sketching futures. Sophia on train, us traveling. Steve's son forever echoed barbecues, fishing trips. Carlos's flower at grave symbolized close, forgiveness full. Book outline fleshed. Chapters on guilt, reunion now. Daughters contributed. Thomas picks. This powerful confession lives daily. Emotional transformation completish. More to come. From lost family to core, touching family moment endless. Daughters. Rosa baby due. Uncle first babysit. Practice dolls. Gentle. Grandkids school projects. His puzzles integrated. Heroes. My routine. Retired life purposeful. Advocacy. Writing memoir snippets. Reflections. A80s. Young fear blinded. Now wisdom. Love conquers disability challenges. Unexpected reunions like ours prove redemption. Emotional comeback real. Ask opinion. Forgive abandonment after decades. Comments and subscribe for healing tales. Winter 2025 came like a gentle surprise in Texas, where snow is rarer than a cool summer rain. One morning, the world outside Thomas's apartment window was dusted white, a soft blanket over the Austin suburbs. He pressed his face to the glass, eyes wide with childlike wonder, something I hadn't seen since he was little back in Lubbock. Snow, he said softly, pointing. We bundled up, me in my old wool coat, him in a scarf Rosa knitted, and stepped out. He tilted his head back, tongue out, catching flakes like he was 5 again, not 40. The grandkids squealed, running from the house next door, and soon we were all building forts in the yard, lopsided piles of snow and laughter echoing pure and free. In that moment, watching him pat the snow with careful hands, the years of parental guilt melted a little more. This was family healing in the simplest way, a touching family moment I never dreamed possible after my heartbreaking abandonment. Thomas's joy didn't stop there. He'd flap his hands gently, stimming with excitement, and the kids joined in, making it a game. We sipped hot chocolate inside after. His mug held steady now from years of practice. Steve chuckled from the kitchen. Never thought I'd see snow wars in Texas. That night, Thomas lined up tiny snow globes I'd bought on impulse, spinning them endlessly. Sleep came easy to him, but I lay awake, grateful for this emotional transformation, from the days of his autism struggles to this quiet peace. As spring bloomed in 2026, Rosa's pregnancy reached its peak. Sophia arrived on a warm March morning at Seton Hospital in Austin, her cries strong and clear. The whole family kept vigil in the waiting room, Steve pacing, Valentina sketching the clock, grandkids coloring pictures for the new baby. Thomas sat quietly, twisting his string, but his eyes darted to the door every time a nurse passed. When Rosa finally called us in, he hung back, unsure. "Come, mi hermano," Rosa urged, placing tiny Sofia in his arms. His face softened, shoulders relaxing as he cradled her so gently. "Baby soft," he whispered, stroking her cheek with one finger. It was full circle, a special needs uncle doting on his niece, the abandoned son now part of the circle of life. Tears welled in my eyes. This was redemption story unfolding, a powerful family narrative washing away the mother's guilt I'd carried for decades. We stayed hours, Thomas repeating Sophia soft like a mantra. Nurses smiled, one saying, "He's a natural." Back home he drew pictures for her crib, trains guarding a baby. Rosa framed one, hanging it proud. Those hospital days bonded us deeper, turning childhood trauma into hope for the next generation. Thomas's apartment nearby thrived that summer, a little haven he'd made his own. We started a garden patch in the back, small raised beds with herbs, basil, cilantro, tomatoes, chosen for their scents he loved rubbing between fingers. He tended them methodically each dawn, watering with a timer, checking leaves for patterns. "Grow good," he'd report daily. Harvest time was communal joy. We'd pick together, baskets filling under the Texas sun. Tacos became our ritual. Fresh cilantro, chopped precise by him. Steve grilling, daughters chopping onions. Laughter around the table, stories flowing easy. "Remember first snow?" grandkids teased. Thomas nodded, smiling broad. This was emotional healing in everyday moments. Special needs, parenting rediscovered late but true. One evening, as we rolled tortillas, he added, "Mama garden like Lubbock." My heart skipped. Did he remember our porch pots? I nodded, squeezing his hand. The apartment, once sparse, now held photos. Us all, trains, Sophia. Life changing moment by moment. Challenges ebbed but didn't vanish entirely. One flare came in July, neighbor's 4th of July party blasting music late. Thomas paced his living room, hands over ears, rocking hard. "Too loud," he repeated. I rushed over, strategies ready, noise-canceling headphones from his drawer, weighted blanket, dim lights. We sat on the porch swing replica, me humming his lullaby till calm returned. "All okay now?" he echoed finally. We grew resilient together, me learning his cues faster each time. No more abandonment fears, I was here steady. Staff from Hope Haven checked in, praising progress. Independence with family support, ideal. Those small victories built confidence, turning disability challenges into strengths. The community embraced him fully at our church's special needs ministry. Thomas became the greeter every Sunday, standing at the door with a nod and, "Welcome, family here." His quiet presence drew others, parents with young autistic kids, adults like him sharing stories. One mom hugged me after. "Seeing him gives hope." He handed out puzzle cards he'd made, simple designs. Church picnics, he'd set tables perfect, then join games on the edge. This was special needs awareness in action, my emotional confession inspiring others toward family healing. Father Ruiz, now old like me, pulled me aside one day. "You've come full circle, Maria. God heals." Thomas overheard, said, "Church good." Bonds formed, new friends visiting his apartment for game nights. Our first travel adventure was a hill country drive in April, winding roads through blue bonnets waving purple under endless sky. Thomas in passenger seat, camera in lap, simple point and shoot for patterns. He snapped fields, fences, clouds, peace washing his face. Stops at roadside diners, him ordering methodical burger plane, picnic under oaks, sharing stories of 80s Texas I recalled. Flowers spin, he said of petals. Back home, photos pinned everywhere, a visual journal of joy. That trip healed old roads, no Lubbock ghosts, just forward. The anniversary of the abandonment date hit hard. That crisp fall day in 1989 when I drove away. We marked it symbolically, driving to Lubbock Park near our old home. Soil familiar, air thick with memories. Together we planted a sturdy oak tree, sapling strong. For past, I said, hands dirty. Thomas patted earth even. Past done, he replied, firm, eyes meeting mine brief. Freed, we hugged long, wind whispering forgiveness story. Drove back lighter, emotional regret lifting like dust. Health stayed good. We joined senior walks at the park Tuesdays, me and Thomas with a group of retirees. He'd stride steady, chatting sparse. Birds' patterns. Conversations deepened slow. One day, Miss Train's old? I shared box stored away, eyes lit, walks built stamina, community. Grand opening of sorts, family cabin rented in the hills for a weekend getaway in October. Wood smoke, lake views. Steve fished Dawn, Thomas beside casting patient. Hooked perch first, big one. Cheers all around, evenings fireside, stories sparse but poignant from him. Group home friends good, miss now, visit maybe. We planned trips back to Dallas, old pals. Marshmallows roasted, grandkids' tales of school, Sophia cooing, stars above like Lubbock nights, full circle. That cabin wove us tighter, dramatic family story alive. Advocacy peaked with a local news feature. Mother returns after 40 years, healing an abandoned son. Crew came, filmed garden, church, us walking. Thomas on camera brief. Family, now. Aired prime time, messages poured, emails, calls. My story too. Forgave my dad. Similar journeys, father regret parallels, mother returns, hopes. Lines at church doubled, special needs parenting talks booked. Emotional family story rippled, powerful confession shared. Book idea sparked then. Healing broken families, our tale from parental abandonment to miracle reunion. Daughters helped outline, Rosa typing, Valentina cover art trains and hearts. Thomas added drawings, publisher interest local, therapeutic even drafting. Reflections grew, profound nights on porch. Parental abandonment scars deep, childhood trauma lingers, but love heals, slow and sure. Autism story, not tragedy, but triumph. His quiet strength, our growth. From special needs, struggles, to emotional comeback. Thomas on dates? We talked gentle one walk. Girl-like? He shook head soft. Content solo, family enough. I supported, no pressure, his pace always. Future bright, Sophia toddling soon. He'll teach trains gentle, legacy passing. Grandkids puzzles evolving, church role expanding. This powerful family narrative from abandoned son to family core. Life-changing moment eternal. If this touched you, watch our next emotional confession. Subscribe, like, share. Thank you for journeying with us.